Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. Again, now it's the PM Stalker Podcast on January 7. Keep wanting to say July for some reason. It is cold as fuck, and for some reason, July keeps popping in my head, and it is very much January the 7th, 2022. These are the Charles Perry Stalker Podcasts. We do the disclaimer, use allegedly. Nobody's been convicted in a court of law just yet. We are getting wiretap orders, Mr. Perry. You don't know what we're getting that's coming from a wiretap order and what we're getting that's coming from a leak, do you? But you know you're getting told on and caught more than ever in your life because you've been doing this, creeping up on women for a very long time. Where's Jackie when you do that? Where's Jackie? It's not like you have a romance here that it's going both ways. You're rejected every day. So use allegedly. Apply the but for Mr. Perry stalking, hacking, peeping, icking me out, sliming his, delusion all over me. We wouldn't have to do these. These are to establish means right of his crime. They are being used in a court of law. Okay? Because as I'm doing this, my guys are also recording it on a separate thing, and it gets to the judge, who gives them wiretap orders. So do your recordings. So when you're sitting around talking about when I use an emoticon, whatever they're called, when, where, how, that you obtained that information illegally, and how much is in my bank account, is she going to work today, and does she have case text, and oh my gosh, we can't get her served. Served with what? I don't even know what that is. I just hear you guys talking about, we got to get her served. We got to get, okay, well, serve me. Believe me, we'd love to have one more fraud case. So the judge hears that, and he grants wiretap orders typically. So far, he's not denied anything. So you get another order granted in your favor, Mr. Perry. So my guys gave you a gold star on that whiteboard they have in their office. You win. So all this was recorded today of Mr. Perry and his little buddies getting information about me and my life illegally. We got the information legally. So apply the but-for standard, apply the reasonable person standard, and we also assert all constitutional rights, which, by the way, we just have. We shouldn't have to assert them, but because it's Perry, we have to assert them. He's been trying to arrange a second false arrest since he did the first one, and it didn't work out. Where is the evidence of a political vendetta, Mr. Perry? Where is my blood test, Mr. Perry? Where is Officer Neely's blood test prior to being given Narcan? And where are the marks on him, Mr. Perry, that indicate he was in any kind of fight? Let me tell you something. I worked in a strip club for 6 years, and every day when I woke up, before I did anything else, I did my prayers, and I just basically prayed Bible over my life. And when I'd go to work in a strip club, not one person did I try to say a Bible verse to, ever. They'll ask the people I worked with. Not one time. But I'm going to say them to you. Because you guys go around prancing around like you're a bunch of Christians, and you are fucking not. You're white sepulchres or whatever the hell Jesus complained about. You know, Caiaphas was the high priest. He's responsible for the death of Jesus. You're a church deacon. You're committing adultery. You're operating far, far, far outside social norms, and your $25 million didn't get you shit. You know what he just typed in my phone? It will blow your fucking mind. He's typing in my phone, which he hacked, which is a crime, by the way, and largely how they find out what's in my bank account, whether or not I'm going to work, when I'm working, where I'm going, GPS my phone, right? I've been told I have 200 emails that I've not seen. He intercepted them. He deleted them before I could see them. It's emails and texts. Mr. Mitchell complained. I emailed him a bunch. I sent him 5, and they all had evidence attached. Or it was a forward of an email to Mr. Myers saying, by the way, Mr. Neely didn't do this. He was drugged. And that was confirmed months later. Because Mr. Perry's under investigation. That's how we got that. They never asked me that. They're complaining about emails. And I'm telling Mr. Mitchell, I sent you 5. I don't know what the hell else you're talking about. I do have a hacker. Hacking is a crime. Stalking is a crime. Peeping is a crime in all 50 states. It's deviant behavior. It's disgusting. If something is illegal, that means people don't like it when you do that. And if you do things people don't like, they're likely not to like you, Mr. Perry. He's typing in my phone, I'm rich. Are you sure you want to do this? Wow. 8 years I've rejected you. I left. So yeah, your $25 million didn't buy you shit. Because your crime is more caught than it has ever been in your life. When I'm talking to Lucky as I was leaving to go on stage, he said, swing your sword. And I thought he was joking. I mean, I just took it as like he's making a joke. I've been called in a lot of circles Dragon Slayer, Bad Guy Whisperer. So it's kind of a joke. Well, I thought he was joking. But you know what? When people are about to die, God kind of prepares you, I think. And you kind of maybe see things that are on the other side. I'm a believer. As for me and my house, we serve God. The same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The God you defy every time you rape me. Every time you commit adultery on Jacqueline, your wife, to rape me. Every time you take my money. Every time you cause a problem. Every time you do your little witchcraft bullshit. And we pray those curses fall back on your head. In Jesus' name. We pray that. But every morning when I get up, I do about 20 scriptures over your life, Mr. Perry. Over your life, Mr. Powell. Over your life, David Robertson. Over your life, witches and warlocks that are hired. Over your life, Tulsa Police. Over this situation, over every courtroom. Do you know what God's word has to say about it? He won't crush the weakest reed or put out a flickering candle. He will bring justice to those you have wronged. He will not falter or lose heart until justice prevails throughout the earth. And it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And you are defying him. In our suffering, he also suffers, and he personally delivers us and is with us through all of our years. Read Isaiah 61. I read that over my life every day. Instead of shame and dishonor, I will give you a double share of honor and a double portion of prosperity in your land. And everlasting joy will be yours, for I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrongdoing, and I will faithfully reward my people for their suffering and make an everlasting covenant with them. And I pray that over my Officer Neely every day, his family, that instead of the shame he is suffering right now, God has him there. He only allows you, Satan, to attack with permission. You must ask God permission. Read Job. Satan has to come up and ask permission to sift the people of God. And God will not allow us to be sifted unless he has a plan to bless us double for that, just as he did Job. The book of Esther talks about he equips us for just a time as this. We each have a calling. As lawmen, my granddad said, we are called to relieve suffering caused by crime. It is a crime to hack, exploit women and children, starve, torture, torment. You have tormenting spirits, Mr. Perry, and I rebuke those in Jesus' name. Paul had the same thing. I pray you have that kind of moment that Saul was walking down the streets and he's hit by a light and it changed him forever. And then he had a stalker, a woman tormenting him. And you know what he said? Be gone. Satan, you have no claim here. You don't have a claim over Officer Neely, and you don't have a claim over me. And he will use what was meant for evil for our good. And he will bless us double for our trouble. So however much you take, however many problems you cause, however much you torment and torment and torment, you're going to reap what you sow. Be not deceived. God isn't mocked. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You already are. You're just not smart enough to get it. Listen, I'm not a special education teacher, so I can't relate to somebody who has not the ability to reason out things that any normal adult could reason out. Most people don't have to be sat down and told, your conduct is very offensive and you need to stop that. That's why it's illegal. You're making everybody upset. You're upsetting people. A man's kindness brings blessings. His cruelty will be his downfall. Nobody likes a bully, Mr. Perry. No one. And so people start turning against you, like they did Hitler, like they did Saddam Hussein, like they did any, dictator, monster, control freak. Somebody who can't control himself, who feels like he's got to control everybody else and bully everybody around. You get more bees with honey is basically what that Bible verse says. It's in Proverbs. A man's kindness brings blessings and his cruelty will be his downfall. So there are men in my life that I fell in love with, and I fell in love with them because they loved me right. They took care of me. They didn't hurt me. They didn't butt in. They didn't invade my privacy. They didn't feel like they needed to control shit. My ex-husband didn't even know who my friends were, much less call them and tell them when they could talk to me and what they could say. Half the time, he didn't know what was in our bank account. If we needed groceries, he'd go, do we have X amount of money? I need to go to the store. Yeah, I think so. You can't even control you. David Robertson, Charles Perry, Matthew Powell, Joshua Burson, Joe Chadwick, and all you little Calvin, all you little, freaky Jason minions, your little club weirdo. You can't control you. So my guys have a legal order to get what you just said, and you don't. They got what you just said that was all about information violating my privacy, my right to privacy. Every morning they record y'all talking about how much money's in my account and whether or not I'm going to work. Every day. They have that information legally, and you don't. Emoticons. Wow. They recorded y'all talking about emoticons, when, where, how I use them. That only you could get illegally. Asking whether or not does Philip, does Wish Camper have what we just said? Philip always has it. I have to prepare a defense because you've threatened false arrest. You've threatened to commit fraud upon a court to false arrest me. Because when you get up in my accounts and stuff, it's causing me duress. That's the crime. We're going to harass her. And then when she complains about it, we'll claim she's harassing us. And you can't say you didn't plan that because you did it twice in civil court. You did it just recently. 3,700 emails, your attorney said, telling him your client got caught trying to commit a crime against me. Please make him stop. I don't like him. I don't want any contact with him in any form at all, ever. Make him leave me alone. Cease and desist. 3,700 times he ignored me. So whatever legal ramifications you have, whether it be criminal or civil, you did ask for that, sir, because everybody has the same choice. Comply with the law or not, and if you choose not to, you go to jail. I don't care who the fuck you think you are. $25 million didn't cover up what you just said this morning, did it? When and where I use emoticons. Does Wish Camper have it? Because you were blocking Wish Camper's emails. We set up about 6 other ways he can get that information. So yeah, he gets it first before anybody else. Do you understand me? You can block all the emails you want to block. It's not going to matter. When you get something from me illegally, my guys get that by legal means. And it's already been played for a judge. He just granted all the wiretap orders they just asked for. So you win that order too, Mr. Perry. When you pester me, you don't get a date. You get told on. You keep wanting to know who told, who's investigating me. But you're not getting what that means, sir. The fact is, you are being investigated and people are talking. They don't like what you're doing. No normal person would like what you do. Nobody likes that shit. Women are turned off by it. You can't seem to get that. Most people don't have to be told that, Mr. Perry. There's a reason other guys don't do what you do. And they can get a date and you can't. You're pathetic. I left. You got mental problems. I'm not a shrink. I can't help you with that. And I'm not a mentally, special education teacher. You need to hire a professional to help you understand what words mean. I don't like you. Don't contact me. And it is illegal for you to do so. And every time you do it, you get caught. The plans of the wicked will come to nothing. And lucky, the last thing you said to me was, swing your sword, girl. I thought he was making a joke. I didn't know what the hell he meant by that. The sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, is what he meant by that. But at the time, I didn't realize he was probably about, God has, people have reportedly, when they're about to die, they see things on the other side sometimes. God starts kind of opening that up, and they kind of start seeing things on the other side. So I think he probably saw what was about to happen, what was going on in the spirit realm. And you have a subconscious need to be caught, or you wouldn't continue to pester and provoke what gets you told on. And you do it every day, all day long, Mr. Perry. You don't have an alibi to prove you're busy working like Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz has power. You don't. He's working. He doesn't have time to do what you do. Sit around on his fat, lazy ass, perverting around all day, bothering people, making everybody feel uncomfortable and disturbed like you. You don't have any power. You don't have a cover up. And you don't have a date. And you'll never have a date. You're sick. You need a specialist. I'm not that. I don't give a shit about you. I didn't ask you what you think. Didn't ask you what you feel. Didn't ask you what you need. Didn't ask you what you want. You know what I asked you to do? Get the fuck out of my life. Get your cameras off me. Get out of my phone. Get out of my computer. Don't contact me again in any way, shape, or form. I hate it. I hate it. It pisses me the fuck off when you ignore my rights and wishes and do what I just asked you not to do. Just like Neil. Creepy Neil. Creepy fucking Neil. You saw all of America come out for that girl and say, this was wrong. What this man is doing to her. Rape culture. When women ask you to leave them alone, one time is all it should take. What in the world is wrong with you that it's taken 8 years? You fuck with me, you get told on. You fuck with me, you get told on. You fuck with me, you get told on. And it's been that way every day since the McNamara email, and you don't get it. I'm not a special ed teacher, sir. I can't help you understand what everybody else never has to be told. You poke and peep, you get told on. You poke and peep. You got a guy in your own organization makes fun of you all the time. He calls you a peepin', pokin', pink panty, pathetic parrot. It's from Houston or something. I don't know. He's got a pretty strong Texas accent. Makes fun of you all the time. That's what he calls you. Peepin', pokin', pink panty, pathetic parrot. Who is that? Whose money is attached to that comment? Who'd you piss off in your own organization that they'd make fun of you like that? You're not my kind, man. You're not my kind. You need to go work. You need the alibi. You don't have it. So what I wanted to quick over, other than what he just did, look at that, $25 million. You just got recorded all fucking day. You wanted to have somebody break into my apartment and get my computer so I can't appeal. How much are you paying judges? Because I promise you that's being looked into right now. How many judges are on the take? Why did Hansen sign off on an arrest warrant and not requiring any proof that there was a false police report filed and that it was related to a political vendetta? So he's being investigated. Every judge that looks like you bought, they're being investigated. You asked for that because you peep and poke and you pester and you bother and you take and you cause hardship and crisis and problems. Troublemaker Perry. You don't have a life. You're an imposition and you're a burden. All you and all your little freaky Jason friends. Mensa Queens, we call you. Creepy Club. Women are turned off by everything you do. So you got all this stuff illegally in this first paragraph. What money does she have in her bank account today? Is she going to work? Talking about emoticons. Does Philip have all this? Bush Camper have all this? Yep, he has it first. And because you keep blocking his emails, we've got it to him in about 6 other different ways. Perry, when you contact me, it makes me angry. You're making me mad right now. Get out of my computer. He likes to type in my computer. Are you sure I'm rich? Yep, you paid $25 million. Where's the cover-up? Those judges are being investigated. That looks fishy. There's too many hearings. There's too many motions filed, including Mike Neely's. I filed motions to intervene. There should have been a hearing to determine whether or not I had standing to make such an argument. And at that point, it's either upheld or denied. It's either decided upon that I don't have third-party standing, and then go from there. But that didn't even happen. 12-1031, protective order, by law requires hearings. There weren't any. So now the judges are being investigated, sir. You want to peep and poke, you're going to pay for it. That's how. Does Wish Camper have it? Yeah, we all know that you blocked my emails, and he has it anyway. Duly noted for the record you were trying to do that. Hacking. Get all this information illegally. My guys get what you just said. Doing something illegal like that, getting information illegally through legal means. Because our judge heard you talking about it on the recordings that we got from either leaks or a prior wiretap. So He just granted some more. It's sealed. You won't find it. Go ahead, call. It's a need to know. You won't find it. Go ahead, call. You're making me a fucking hero. Who is this girl? What the hell? Who is this chick that can do that? Bad guy whisperer. Okay, so we got any there's something that was pertinent. That was these questions. Mr. Perry needs to answer these questions. Where are the marks on Officer Neely that indicate he was in a fight, and what interest is of it to you unless you did that murder? Where's my blood test to rule out or confirm arsenic poisoning? Where is the evidence of a political vendetta? These are things you would be asked on the stand, so everyone knows that's why you won't let me in court. Too many motions filed where there should have by law been a hearing, or there should have just been a hearing, required by law or not, and there wasn't. And if there was a hearing, she's not allowed in. It's her suit. She's got the burden of proof. She can't meet the burden of proof if she's not even there. Those are the questions you would be answered. And when people hear me talk on the podcast, they're like, oh, that explains it. She's got something on these guys. And she has, she's actually not a stupid, dumbass stripper. She's actually pretty smart. I have a 3.9 GPA, sir. I'm in criminal justice college. Criminal justice. I was raised by 3 generations of police. The reason you won't let me into court is because then I'll say to the judge what you hear me say now, which y'all are all, we can't let her say that in the courtroom. We'll be caught. We can't let her say that in the courtroom. We're a bunch of God-fearing sex perverts. We can't have consequences to our actions like everybody else. We special. Are you? I don't think you are. Okay, so that's some of the questions. You obstructed justice. Why'd you do that? Who gave you the report? Who from Tulsa Police gave you my police report, Mr. Perry? You're a domestic violence offender. You were trying to kill me. So who is so stupid that they would hand that report right over to you? You know, I haven't really... What I said long ago, if you noticed that happened in 2016, have you heard me make a big deal out of that? I pick my battles, and that was one that I said, that one is between God and this guy, whoever did it. I'll let God handle that one. I'm not going to mess with it. But you know what? A lot of other people want to know that. Yipes. Oops. Oh my God. Who? Who, what, when, where? Well, who wants to know that? But, so, guy who did that to me, you could have got me killed. You did get lucky killed. That's on you. You got lucky killed. You got Mike almost killed. He's in jail right now because of you. Because everybody has a choice what to do. And all of our choices have consequences, sometimes unfortunately for other people. But there's a God who rectifies these things and makes these wrongs right. Be not deceived. God isn't mocked. You reap what you sow. There's a law of reaping and sowing and karma in all religions. You got some shit coming your way, man. You're getting people killed. You don't have that right. So even if I don't address that in court, in my cases, it's going to be addressed. You caused people to lose a life. You almost got me killed. You've almost got me killed again. Because Mr. Perry then had somebody throw a brick at me on the freeway. Had I not gone out a different way, it would have hit me in the face. I went out a different way because I saw his man sitting there, waiting to call down the road and tell him I was coming. Wasn't the first time that happened, but it was the first time that brick got thrown at me. It hit the ground, bounced up and hit the underneath of my car and totaled it. It cracked my engine in two. Had I gone out the other way and not been 2 to 3 minutes delayed, it would have hit me in the face and done that to my head. You don't have the right to take somebody's life, sir, indirectly or directly. You're going to answer for that. Whether I ask about it or not, other people are. Other people are. So the other one is, what about my communications back in 2011? It's a damn thing to do with your job. We think you're mentally retarded. And otherwise, why would we have to explain to you every fucking day the same thing? When you do things that are illegal, they're illegal because they are offensive conduct. Outside social norms, it's deviancy. And when you do that, people don't like you. So, yeah, you're going to get told on sometimes. You're going to get told on. Why are you surprised? because you've been able to bully yourself around out of trouble all these years, and this time not so much. But it's been that way for a long time, and you're not able to put the cause and effect together. So we think that you're mentally retarded and you're not exactly sure what legislative duties are. It's not coming up behind my house and creeping on me. Mr. Perry, you're just creepy. I don't think you're hot. I don't think you're sexy. I'm not attracted to you. You're rejected every day. You don't have anything real. You don't have a real love life. You don't have a real date. I left. It's been 8 years. I've tried very hard to get away from you. You are just a stalker. Stalking is a crime in all 50 states. You buy somebody at Tulsa Police, that doesn't mean you're not a stalker. That means you're a corrupt stalker and a corrupt person. It's illegal to buy a cop. Right? Those 2 cops that talked to me in 2015 that led to me writing the letter to the U.S. attorney told me he wants to pay a cop to arrange a false arrest. He wants to smear you because you know he's a dirty piece of trash. He's not the, I'm Jesus walking on water that he pretends to be. You ripped his mask off. He didn't like that. He's a facade. He's a fraud. He's a fake. And you caught it. So we told him no. That's not why we signed up to be police, but that doesn't mean he won't find an asshole who will. Like maybe the guy who gave my police report right over to the domestic violence offender instead of investigating it. Because you would have seen all these Facebook messages where I'm telling my friends he's creeping up behind my house and watching me in my backyard. He's showing up at restaurants where I am looking, or I would be looking for me, that he should know anything about. Paying bills I didn't talk to him about. They hacked. Paid the wrong bill, by the way. Had you done your job, I would have a blood test to determine whether or not I was poisoned with arsenic. Were they trying to kill me, or did they just give me something to make me a little woozy? So I would think that, just to fuck with me. We don't know to this day, because you fucked up. You fucked up, and you got Lucky Miller killed, too, by the way. You've almost gotten me killed a time or two. That's on you. You're going to have to answer to that, for that, sir. Whether I ask the question or not, whether I leave it between you and God or not, there are other people that want to know. Why'd you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? Who are you? What's your name? What's the name of the police officer who took my police report on the 21st, gave it over to the domestic violence offender before it was ever investigated, caused me the loss of my blood that would rule out or confirm arsenic poisoning? Or did they just put something in my drink to make me a little woozy, to make me think I was being poisoned, just to fuck with me? What is it? What happened? Do you know? You don't. Because you participated in a crime. You're a co-conspirator to a criminal act. And you didn't know at the time that I was involved in another police investigation over sexual exploitation of women and children, torment, torture, starvation of women and children. Much bigger deal. You had no idea. But if you had done your job right, you might. That's the problem with incompetent police. And these guys continue to reoffend and reoffend and reoffend. So you shut me up, the victim. Guess what? There's going to be another victim. Then what are you going to do? How you going to explain that? Mr. Perry is a serial killer. I'm going to tell you right now. Write it down, Tulsa Police. It's going to come out before this is all said and done. The guy's a serial killer. He's working with his little mafia. They're doing some things wrong. They're getting caught. I'm not going to get into that. But they're not doing it right, or they wouldn't be so caught, would they? Where's the evidence, Mr. Perry, that the complaint I filed on the 21st with Tulsa Police was false or motivated by politics? Because you do have to prove that, sir. You have to prove it. Who gave the police report to you? Who gave it to you? Who put my life at risk? Who got Lucky Miller killed? Because if had that been handled correctly, Chief Miller would be alive right now, Mike Neely would be home. Because you'd be in jail and not around to do one more crime to one more person to make another victim. So whoever you guys do, whatever you guys do to try to shut me, a victim, up, there's going to be more victims. Because you got a repeat offender who can't control himself. Subconsciously, he wants to be caught. Because you don't do the same thing every day for this long if you're not getting the results you want. He attracts himself police that are making him stop. No matter how much he pays you to look the other way, to cover it all up, to attack a victim, to lie, cheat, steal, kill, be exactly as ugly as him, be as corrupt as it gets, make everybody not trust police. The bad ones ruin it for the good. No matter how much there's other victims, because he can't control himself. He's a repeat offender. I'm not the first. Did you really think I'm the first? The guy tries to kill me right after I tried to get a protective order, and that was all over the news. Wasn't his first rodeo. That's a very bold thing to do, and I told Dave that. He's a politician. That's what I've said. The good news is he's a politician. The bad news is he's a politician. The good news is he's a politician, so he's subject to public scrutiny in what he does in his private life. The bad news is he's a politician, and he's got some power to pay some people. Have you guys ever watched Deep Undercover on Netflix with it's hosted by Joe Pistone? Watch it, TPD. Maybe you'll be able to catch up to us. You're not keeping up. You're not. Okay, so there's that. What part of the communications were about your job as a legislature? I think you don't know what your duties are, your legislative duties are. It's not creeping on women. It's not peeping, hacking, stalking, and then buying your way out. And you're not getting your way out this time all the way. You are buying a judge, which gives us more in a different courtroom to use against you, to convict you. That's all you're doing. You're just not all there. Your elevator doesn't go all the way to the top. Why did Mr. Powell not get any evidence? Why didn't he preserve blood, video? He didn't preserve any evidence. He had no intention of going to trial. I was just simply illegally detained. Hostage. I was a hostage. Right? That's all I was, a hostage. I didn't live in Lubbock. I hadn't been there for 2 years. So, you commit a crime against me in Tulsa. I report it to Tulsa. Tulsa makes the mistake of handing my police report right over to the offender, instead of keeping it private like it's supposed to be by law. And then there's no investigation, and Mr. Powell preserved no evidence at all. Didn't even try. And now it's destroyed now. So you need to read the RICO Act, right? Since you're going to be mafia. That one right there, 1512, 1513, Title 18, the United States Code. You violated it all over the place. You know what? There's also state law against obstruction of justice and destroying evidence. Did you know that? Yeah. I guess Tulsa police had a hard time prosecuting obstruction of justice when they handed the police report right over to the bad guy. Yipes. Oh my God. Now what are we going to do? Okay, so I just gave the report to a desk clerk. The desk clerk said, I'm going to put it in the computer and it'll be assigned to a detective, and the detective will call you back and you'll need to come in and give that person evidence of the crime you reported. Except that never happened. I didn't get the chance. By the time they called me back, I'm already sitting in Lubbock jail as a hostage. Illegally detained. No one making any effort at all to preserve my evidence to show whether the report was false or true. If it weren't true, Mr. Perry would have made sure there was a blood test. And then he would have held a press conference and pranced around like the little girl that he is, drama queen. I'm a victim, see, she lied. But that's not what he did. He did a cover-up. Make sure there is no test. Make sure there's no test. I couldn't give one to Tulsa police, nor did Matt Powell make any effort to preserve any evidence at all. Right? And Mr. Hansen, Judge Hansen, I know Judge Hansen. He's a nice guy. Why did he behave so incompetently here, Mr. Perry? That's what's being looked into. Because there's two things that are possible. One is he's on your payroll. That's going to be a problem for him. Or Mr. Hansen, Judge Hansen, just thought you were telling the truth and didn't bother to look. It's a little bit, naive. I'm going to go with number 2. From what I know of Judge Hansen, it's probably more likely number 2. You lied to him. He trusted you. You fucked him over. I bet that won't happen again. I bet that won't happen again. Judge Hansen's actually a nice man. I knew a couple of judges. I didn't know all of them. Um, Judy Parker was one. Judy Parker and I talked about all kinds of personal things, Mr. Perry. Never did I discuss you. I only told a few close friends that you were creeping on me. Cheryl Underwood was one. Now, she and Cheryl were very good friends, so Cheryl may have told her. I didn't tell her. I didn't tell Judge Hawker either. Mark was another one. I talked to about personal things. We're friends. Trey McClendon, same thing. I didn't talk to Trey McClendon as much as I talked to Hawker and Parker. Judge Hanson, I knew kind of about like Trey McClendon. He's not, I'm guessing number 2 is what happened. You lied to him, he trusted you, and he should have looked. He should have required you did a little better with evidence. So, but my guess is that won't happen again. You burned him. He won't let that happen again. So, what you guys could have done when I said they killed Lucky, Mike didn't do it. Mike didn't have a mark on him. Mike is a victim of attempted murder and fraud upon a court. You better get him out. You don't have a choice. It's funny you think you do. As many times as I quote what you just said, and you guys want to know who told and who's investigating us and all that, I'm studying in my class right now, restitution, restorative justice. Victims are owed something. Victims are owed something. There are laws in place to give us protection from the criminal and restitution. When you fuck us over, you're going to pay for that. You're not being blackmailed. You're not getting extorted. It's part of the justice system. You need to study it, dumbass. And I'm not a special education teacher, so I can't do it. I can't teach you that shit. I can teach people who are very smart. If you're stupid, if you got the mind of a 3-year-old, I can't help you. You need a special professional for that. If you've got Alzheimer's, same thing. So, we're studying right now the rights of victims of crime. We have the right not to be fucked over by our local police, don't we? We have the right to restitution. We have the right to protection against the offender. Like, don't give the police report right over to the offender. Officer, somebody stupid. You got a cop killed. You got a cop killed, sir. We're not, I mean, you go get Mike out since you did that. You got to fix this. That man is get him out. God damn it, get him out. If we have to do it, we will do it. Sometimes you step back and let other people do what they do. Get him out, or you're going to wish you had done it. I promise. If we got what you just said, shit that you got illegally, what's in her bank account? Is she going to work? Can we fuck her over? Right? None of your business. How do you even know that? I don't talk to people because of what you've done to me. So I don't have a conversation with anybody for more than about 10 minutes. Whoever said that, observed that about me, observed it correct. I don't trust anybody, not even my own family. Not even my own family. And then when you guys want to, we even told you, I think we even told you, if you want to get information out of somebody, then you need to do what we're doing, because we're getting a lot of information out of you and you're not getting anything out of me. What you do is, like they do on Deep Cover, Joe Pistone on Netflix. It takes time. There was one officer in Hawaii that was investigating corrupt police. No paperwork on that chick anywhere. No paperwork on her. Watch it. I think she was in Hawaii. She was investigating corrupt cops. No paperwork on her anywhere. Nobody knew she was a cop. Not 1 ounce of paperwork. They got rid of all paperwork. They said we couldn't afford anybody finding anything. So there was no paperwork anywhere on this lady. And she caught the bad guy too, by the way. Okay, so this right here is what I needed. I think it's this one. You have to prove a couple things. Who's posting what? And what's the crime in it? Who's posting what and what is the crime? Because what I'm worried about is she's trying to prevent the loss of life, and Perry's trying to shut her up so she can't. That's what this guy says. Is this the governor? Is this either Governor Abbott or Governor Stitt having this conversation? Because I've heard they're being briefed every day. They're not real happy with what they're seeing. So yeah, sure, I'll call you stalking too. Nobody's you tried to become a doctor. You can't even fucking get cause and effect, and you thought you can become a as a shrink and diagnose me with crazy, no license to do so, and you can't even fucking tie your shoe by yourself. No license to do so, no examination. My doctor said your false arrest was a stalking escalation. You can't get attention, so you poke and poke and poke and poke and poke until somebody finally has to go, shut up. It's like Stewie. Mom, mama, which that's actually funny, but what you do is not funny. Stewie's also like 4 years old. You're a grown-ass man. So that's why we call you Pokin' Peepin' Perry. Because you can't get attention, so you bother and harass and cause problem after problem after problem that you have to drop everything you're doing and fix the fucking problem. Right? Pathetic. That is absolutely pathetic. I've dated a lot of men, Mr. Perry. They got a date with me because they had something interesting about them. They didn't act like they were mentally 3 years old. I don't go to a daycare and try to date a 3-year-old. Ew. Ew. If you act like a mental 3-year-old, I'm not going to have anything to do with you. I don't have patience. You're going to embarrass me. You're going to fucking embarrass me. I like people who are very smart. I've worked all my life with medical professionals, doctors, surgeons, and elected officials. Okay, so I don't have the energy or the patience to deal with somebody who can't get simple cause and effect. When you mess with me, you get told on. When you mess with me, there's no date, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you contact me, I don't like it. I don't like it. So you get told on because you piss everybody off. It's not that hard to get information, sir. When you cause a problem for me, same thing. And it has been that way since the McNamara email, and you can't get it still. Stupid as a rock. Okay, so what's this guy saying here? You got this harassment email, and then he did exactly what it says in civil court. And now, maybe wanting to take her computer right now out of her home to keep her from appealing what appears to me to be an illegally obtained order. Not once, but twice in the same court. How come you have one lady with no law school against 5 attorneys and not one hearing where she's there? Not with Perry and Powell, and that's the main crux of the problem. When he's in court, she's never there to say all the things she says in these podcasts where she goes through documents and explains everything. Why is that? This had gone on now for 3 civil suits where she's bears the burden of proof. All these documents are sitting there on the docket. She explains them, and everything fits together very well. You can see very clearly she's injured and injured badly by these men. And yet when it comes to court hearings where she can do this, he's not allowing her to do so. And I, for one, have a big problem with that. I personally am very uncomfortable with what he's done and continues to put her through and excluding her from court. That's all messed up. We know something is very illegal about that and morally wrong for sure. He wants to run for office, and that is not his right. He is no different than Bill Clinton or all these other guys who got themselves into trouble over a woman that was not their wife. We all know that she does have the right not to be put through a stalking ordeal. And to make matters worse, she's extremely distraught over what happened to Chief Miller and Officer Neely, and again, being kept out of the court proceeding where her testimony likely would have changed the outcome. That is 4 court proceedings where this occurred. You hear her talk about these in these podcasts, you can see why he has a problem with her talking in a courtroom. She says the same thing, the very same thing in court that she says in these podcasts. He's through. You and I both know that's what he's doing. He's doing everything she said. And how much does he have that is not legal? He's manufactured some things. He came to have some information illegally, like what you got today. Emoticons. What's in my bank account? Does she have TK's text? Is she going to work? All that information obtained illegally. We know you became in possession of that information illegally because we got it through legal means. It was heard in another court. You want to get my computer out of my house. Duly noted for the record. And for that, the judge that heard it granted another wiretap order or 2. I'm not going to say. You win. Gold star for you. Ringtone Richard. That goes for you too, sir. Who is this? The governor? Which one? Was it? I don't know. They don't tell me who it is. I was told it was one of the 2 governors, Abbott or Stitt. Is that true? Is that information correct or not? So he goes on to say, basically, that I'm distraught over what happened to Chief Miller. And yeah, why wouldn't I be? Why the fuck wouldn't I be? You got her and Mike Neely both with evidence of some sort of illegal substance being given to them. Perry's connected to both, and neither are tested. You see why that becomes a concern when both. Look at what this Pinto guy says. You could ruin his career in politics. To which she says, all she wants is to be left alone. Yep. She's now long gone from Texas. It is of no consequence to her one way or the other. Right, I don't care anything about his politics. I never cared. I could call 100 people that I had been working with already before I met Perry. Before he was the new guy. He hadn't been in politics. In fact, his opponent ran an ad. He didn't even vote. Now all of a sudden he wants to be your state representative. It didn't matter to me. He is not relevant. For sure now. He doesn't legislate in Oklahoma. I'm long gone from Texas. I left Texas in November. No, I left Lubbock in November 2013. I didn't live in his district. I live in John Fulo's district. I was already gone by the time he became a senator. I left. And then I left Dallas, Texas, and came to Oklahoma in September 2014. Haven't looked back. Haven't been to Texas. I don't go there to visit. I have not been to Texas. I've not left the state of Oklahoma, except illegally detained like a fucking kidnapping when he had my false arrest. Other than that, I've not been to Texas. I don't want to go to Texas. I hate Texas. In fact, my ex-husband has asked me, would you like to come visit in Texas? No, I'm not going to Texas. Hate it. Hate that place. I hate that place. Hate it. So, do you notice this? Fabian, Fabian can speak for himself. He's a grown man. He impressed me because he works hard, Mr. Perry. He's not yet been used by you. He's the only person that has not been used by you to hurt me. He's not called me and said, why don't you come down to Texas? So then I'm in your jurisdiction. He's not ever said that. My guess is he wouldn't do it. If you asked him to, he would come up here, but he knows I won't go down there. It's not safe. Nor has he even asked. Because you could use him to get me into Texas. Or if I was stupid and stuff. And then I'm in your jurisdiction, right? But the thing is he's not one, never called me and said, I'd like to see you. Why don't you come down here? And tried to lure me, or coax me, or, nothing like that. You did tell him, I'm going to find a way to arrest her again, and she won't get out this time unless she's with me. So you need to give up. And he said, you're trying to force her into something she didn't want to do. Didn't you? And, right? Didn't you tell him she's aged? And he said, so have I. That's between me and her. So have I. It's not like she's aged and I'm staying the same age. It's not your business. You're butting in, just like the puzzle shows. You're just a butt in, sir. It's not your business. You're not what I want. You're not what I want. You're a job. That's it. But Fabian's never once tried to coax me down to Texas. So I'm in Texas jurisdiction and you can get to me. He's the only one on the planet that hasn't done something to try to trick me into saying something or doing something for you. There's nobody else on the planet that can say that. He can say that. He can say that. He's the only one that can. When I'm working at Godiva's, those girls tell me, they pull me in the bathroom, 2 of them. That senator was in here telling us that we need to make you and Fabian not care about each other so much, and if not, he's going to put you back in jail. What the fuck is that? What the hell did you get yourself into? Why is he always trying to put you in jail? What happened to dinner and a movie? Why is he trying to put you in jail, force you into something like this? Is like what? This is like some sick shit here. You think? And this Fabian guy really cares about you, or he wouldn't be in here talking about that. That's what she said. One of the girls said, this Fabian guy really, really cares about you, or Charles Perry wouldn't come in here and tell us jail if she won't do what I want. Wow. Sounds like he's a good guy. Sounds like he's the keeper. Not this Perry guy who's always looking to hurt you and wanting us to help him. And we won't. We're telling you what happened. Did you know that? I've said it. I think I've said it 2 or 3 or 4 times. What kind of monster does that? A man's kindness brings blessings, and a cruelty His cruelty will be his downfall. That isn't love. Our shrink told the judge, you and I are married, not to each other. They're both happily married. So when she said you and I are married, she didn't mean they're married to each other. She meant they're married. He's married, and so is she, to other people. But she's making a point. You and I are happily married, and we both know this is not how you get a date. This is not how you get someone to fall in love with you. It's not about that. Mr. Perry is trying to bully and coerce her into a lie. Because when you care about someone, you're kind to them. You do good things for them. You want them to be happy. Mr. Perry finds out she likes him. He'll take it away from her. Mr. Perry finds out she wants to do something. He'll ruin it. He's a sadist. He is a sexual sadist. He can't have normal sex. He has to have weirdo sex. He has to hurt people and cause suffering. And that's what this is about. He wants a cover-up. He wants a lie. And he's trying to force her against her will to lie. And she just won't do it. Because if you want to date with somebody, you're kind to them. You find out what they like and you do what they like. He finds out what she hates and he'll do more of that. That's not normal. You and I both know that's not how we got our spouses to like us. Find out what they hate and do it more. Women are creeped out by peeping toms. Creep the fuck out. It is disgusting. It is a turnoff. It is yuck. And you do it, knowing I don't like it. You'll type in my phone, I see you. And I'm like, oh my God, that's not a trophy. That should embarrass the fuck out of you. That's why other guys don't do it. It's fucking embarrassing. Why the fuck do you think that's something I should be glad about? You disgust me with that. I hate it. Ugh. It's rape. It is just fucking rape, Mr. Perry. You are disgusted. Yeah. You're disturbed, sir. You need to go. You need a professional. So, quit typing in my phone. Get the fuck out of my phone. All this information that you guys have, our guys got the know that you have it because of legal means. You got it illegally. You got it illegally. Why the fuck would you do that? Tulsa police, whoever gave my police report over to an offender and then allowed justice to be obstructed, perjury, destroyed my evidence. Where is my blood test to rule out or confirm arsenic poisoning? Where is the video from Lady Godiva's on the night that I named in my report? Where's the evidence of a political vendetta? Why did my report get right over to the offender? You got a chief of police killed. You got your brother killed. You got Mike Neely slandered, defamed, almost killed, and his future robbed of him, and you don't have that right. Listen to what I'm saying. You guys do not have the right to do that. You're dealing with a serial killer and a repeat offender, and if you shut me up, there'll be another victim. Only the second one will be more mad than me, because you've had all this evidence right on your lap and you ignored it. You ignored it. So, my guys are going to take care of this shit whenever it is they're ready, and I don't understand the delays. I really don't. I'm not told some things. What I do know is, Mr. Perry, for the first time in your life, when you contact me, I hate it. Ugh, it is nasty. So you get told on. When you cause me financial loss, you get told on. How many of your plans didn't work out? The plans of the wicked will come to nothing. A bunch of us are Christians. Lucky said, swing your sword. I thought he was just fucking around. I mean, like making a joke. Because everyone knows I'm in this big battle for my freedom. For everyone's freedom. For everyone's freedom. I'm looking at it like the Israelites going across on dry land on the Red Sea. And Moses kept telling Pharaoh, who is stubborn and an asshole, let my people go. You're making them slaves. Slavery ended in the Civil War, Mr. Perry. You guys need to get out of your Noah's Ark, covered wagon and realize that we live in a free country. Everybody has rights. Rights to privacy, right to free speech. There's no such thing as racism and misogyny anymore without you getting your ass kicked for doing that. You get your ass kicked for being a racist and a misogynist. This is a progressive contemporary world we live in. And you all are backward and stupid and hillbilly. And nobody likes that. It's not okay. The world blew up when Mr. Chauvin killed George Floyd. And race all of a sudden became a problem again. In my criminal justice studies, we had to study racism in the criminal justice system. Socioeconomic disadvantages too. So, I mean, get a fucking life, weirdo. Get a fucking life, weirdo. Get out of mine. You don't get to be a misogynist or discriminate against women, Tulsa police. Equal protection under the law. I live here. He doesn't. I have the right to the protections in the state where I live. You are by law to enforce them. And when you didn't, you got a cop killed. Now we're pissed at you. Because I'd like to see any of you point out the marks on Officer Neely where it looks like he was in a fight. Where's his blood test prior to the Narcan? How did I know he was drugged and not tested until he got to the hospital after the chemical composition was changed in his blood by the Narcan? How did I know that? Where's my blood test? Answer those questions, TPD. Answer the question, why the hell would you allow a woman in your jurisdiction to be a victim of crime and you don't do a fucking thing about it? Try to cover it up. You answer those questions for me. Answer them. You're going to answer them in one court or another. Answer them. Where's the evidence of a political vendetta? Where's the evidence on Mike that he was in a fight? Why'd you let that happen? Because you had a job to do with something that occurred in your jurisdiction. And the people that are protecting me now are not cops in Oklahoma. And yet I'm getting police protection from police from somewhere else, stepping up to do the job you should have done a long time ago and didn't. And you got a cop killed. You got a fucking cop killed. Mr. Perry, leave me the hell alone. I don't care to hear from you. The more you contact me, the more pissed off we all get. You disgust me. Absolutely disgust me. Where's my blood test, TPD? Where's the political vendetta evidence, TPD? Why can't you keep up? Somebody else is protecting me. Because you won't. Who is that? Who the fuck is that? Mr. Perry, leave me the fuck alone. It is the law. You are a deviant, sick man. I'm not a shrink. I can't help you, and I don't even want to. I want you to leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to hear from you. I don't care what you think. Didn't ask you. You know what I care? That you comply with the law and leave me the fuck alone. Stop pestering me. Stop contacting me. Stop making problems for me. Because every time you do that, you get told on and told on and told on and told on and told on. You provoke. It's like you like getting told on. You provoke. You're pathetic. You're absolutely pathetic. You embarrass the shit out of me. Because you're weirdo. You're a fucking weirdo. And you need to learn how to control yourself like everybody else can do. And realize something a 6-year-old can realize. Cause and effect. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get told on. When you fuck with me, sir, you are caught. More than ever in your weirdo, strange-o life. Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the hell alone. I don't like you. I don't have any romantic feelings for you. I have feelings of yuck, disgust. And I've said that over and over and over and over and over. Please leave me the fuck alone.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
This is the evidence of my mindset in 2011, and there's nothing political here. It's all about stalking. That was before I could have anticipated you would go into court of law and say you had a political vendetta against you, Perry. This is somebody seeing you do something that didn't involve legislative duties. Are you mentally retarded that you aren't sure what your legislative duties are, sir? You could only have known that we were going there from hacking me. That's the only way you could have known we were going. You saw texts. The day she reported that you came looking, I left my phone at home. If you hack, you should have thought I was at home, but you knew I wasn't. You went to find me, to find out where I was. I was running errands. I didn't make it there that night. You got cameras in my house, or you wouldn't have known I left. Whether you get the information of what I'm doing from hacking or peeping, either way, it's illegal. It is a crime to hack, and it is a crime to peep, and you're disgusting because you do it. You're garbage. That's the Bacon's words, not mine. That's a man's words, not mine. You're fucking garbage. The bad ones ruin it for the good. Do you see that, TPD? Look at the arsenic poisoning text. Look at what the law says. Look at all the emails and texts beforehand where I'm saying he's threatening false arrest. He's threatening it again. You gonna help? You gonna be the bitch of a sex pervert? That's the best you can do in your career in law enforcement? Look at this. You gave that report right over to the domestic violence offender. He carried out the threat to arrange a false arrest. Where's the evidence of my blood? Where's the evidence the report was false? Where's the evidence that there's a political vendetta at all, anywhere? He doesn't matter. I live here now. I've been here 8 years. Look at the date on that. I left in November 2014. I'd been gone a while. I haven't even voted. I had to completely change my life to get away from a monster who still won't leave me alone, but he's getting caught more than ever before in his life when he fucks with me, and he's very mentally slow and can't figure that out. But TPD, I want the answer to my question. Where the fuck is my blood test? Where the fuck is the evidence of a political vendetta? Why the fuck did you give my police report right over to the domestic violence offender so he could carry out the threats that I've talked about here before I even filed the report? Before the incident even occurred that I was reporting. And this one, dated October 29, 2015. Where is it? Why'd you do that? You got Lucky killed. We're not happy. Get Mike out, okay? That might be a way to get back in the good graces of some other police that really do the job for you, since you won't do it. I live in Oklahoma. I'm entitled to the protections of the law in Oklahoma and victims' rights. Right? You don't get to violate my rights. You don't. I don't care who the fuck you think you are. You just pissed off the wrong people is what you did. So, Mr. Perry, no one asked you what you think. You are not asked, sir. Who got me that McNamara email? That's who you pissed off. Wrong people, sir. Because you're getting caught in crime more than ever in your life when you fuck with me. I don't care what you think. Remember who it is you're talking to, sir. Remember who you're talking to. Tulsa Police, you should have been in that courtroom with Mike, supporting him, testifying for him, looking over his case. When I couldn't do it, I would have gone to Pensacola, but we were all scared to death I wouldn't make it. I'd come back in a body bag. I can't really help him if I'm dead, can I? Some of that is your job. You work with them every day. Step up. Step up and get it done. Get the job done in your jurisdiction, please. Dereliction of duty. It's not cute. Accessory. Are you accessory? Are you a conspirator? I mean, what the fuck is your problem? I've been very gracious for a really long time, and I'm losing patience. We all are. That's dated the 21st Arrested on the 29th for filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job, who doesn't seem to know what that is exactly. Unclear on his legislative duties. It's not pulling up behind a woman's house and watching her in her backyard. And I didn't get a call back from till the 15th. I would like to have your evidence. You interfered with the chain of custody of my evidence. Where is it now? Where the fuck is it now? You're a repeat offender. You silence this victim, there'll be another one, because you can't control yourself. No one asked you what you think. Mr. Perry, no one asked you what you think. Shut the hell up. No one asks you. You know what you were asked to do? Keep up, Slow. Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Damn it.
Right? Would you please walk me through yesterday's security logs and CCTV footage surrounding Carl Wellig's interview?
Is this about the bike captain? Need to know. Okay.
It's Herman. What did he say to you?
He has real problems with the way Kremler conducted our investigation.
So what did he offer you to help prove that Kremler mishandled him?
You're not asking me what he offered, you're asking if I accepted. 3 women were murdered. That I do not accept. I will never accept.
Yeah, neither will I. Neither will Kremler. You should trust that.
All due respect, ever since I got here, I heard a lot about what I should trust. Kremler was wrong. Whether he really believed Wellig was a serial killer or because he was being a soldier for the AG, or whether he's still sore for me showing him up on Buffalo Bill, the chances of this being a conspiracy were real, and no one said a thing but me. And do not tell me to slow down. You catch up.
Still here. Come to watch TV.
It was on.
Well, a lot of stories about you that can't get enough of you.
What the hell is she doing?
She's telling us where she is.
You pull her out now.
I can't. Her HT's off. Let's go back.
You have a line of sight.
Negative. No visual.
I can picture you sitting here, relaxing at night.
You thinking about me?
You remind me of someone. My father. My daddy. He was a sheriff.
The sheriff. You must have adored him.
You bet I did. He died before I left home for good. Now he used to take me for root beer floats. I'm the soda jerk who made them. He was not a kind man. I wonder why I chose to be around kids.
That's why I chose to be around kids.
Maybe. Hadn't thought of that. But there was this one time we found this neighbor boy crying because of the soda jerk's meanness. If there's one thing my daddy couldn't stand, it was someone who picked on folks weaker than them. I told the boy to come inside with us. And when my daddy, Sharon, walked into that store, the soda jerk cowered. He got small.
How did that make you feel? Seeing the power your daddy had.
It was intoxicating. No, I didn't have that word at the time. How does it feel when your people, your women, give themselves over to you?
It feels intoxicating. Now I understand your daddy. I've dedicated my life to helping my girls. It makes me...
He's helping his girls. You know, Mr. Perry told me that one time. There's about 10 to 15 divorcees I help. I about threw up. You're torturing, you're tormenting, and you're starving them, sir. You're not helping them. What planet do you fucking live on? You're a coward. You're a criminal. You're a sad little maniac. Now, what cop is the Sheriff Rowan in this that gave my police report over to an offender, and a repeat offender, and a sex deviant? You're the bitch of a sex weirdo. That's the best you can do in your career in law enforcement? God help you.
I feel, like your daddy felt, I guess.
You're not getting it. You're the soda jerk.
Wait now. Jeez.
Other men remind me of my daddy. Sheriff Rowan. He has that kind of walk, that kind of power. He'll use it to hurt you, to punish you.
He can hurt me. Ain't nothing without me.
He's the lawman. He has to walk.
Beats me, Johns. I paid him. He's my bitch.
Come on, look at it. Everyone says that Rowan is the big dog. The locals say it. How Magistrate Cotton says it.
Because Rowan needs to believe that. I let him believe that. All those nitwits down in government, Jefferson Cotton, McGeary.
McGeary, wait, which one's he?
The whole damn courthouse, girl. I'm the big dog. They're mine. You don't talk, but I am talking.
She did it. She got every crook in the courthouse.
Whatever.
And I can do it too. You see how she pushed buttons in that man? It's not hard. Grandiose thinking. Stubborn, arrogant, defying God. They like power and control. It's not about love. It's about power and it's about control. And if you keep getting told on Mr. Perry, you don't have any. When you pester me, when you contact me in any form at all, when you cause a problem or a hardship for me at all, anything, a crisis, an issue, you get told on, sir. Never more in your life have you been told on as much since you fucked with me. And you're a mental slow, and you don't get the correlation, and you're pathetic. I am not a special ed teacher. I don't work with people who are slow. I don't know how. I don't have that gift. But you know what gift I have? Kicking a criminal's ass like it's never been kicked in his life. And I'm good at it. I can do what she can do. I can do it too. Because every day, you take the bait. Every day, you fucking take the bait. It is so easy. It is not even fair. You've been caught more than ever in your life, in your crime. And you're a sex deviant. And you make people want to vomit. This is you.